Welcome to my first Rust movie. After a long, much-needed break from Rust, I decided to return and attempt to play a solo wipe. But things didn't go as expected, and this would not be the last time things didn't go as planned for this wipe. Things start off great with me finding a horse and then an airdrop on the way to my base location. After acquiring 2 guns from this airdrop, I decided to go set my base down before I lost them. With the C4 that I got out of the airdrop, I decided to raid a base to try to make it my home. This didn't work out too well, and I just decided to move on and farm up for my own base. Now, in order to keep this video from being several hours long, we're going to skip a lot of the early game content, and skip ahead to when I meet up with my friends.
Node whacker. Man, he's a node whacker.
Whacker. Hell yeah, you dirty faggot.
What the f-
Hell yeah.
Hello, Yannick.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
my fucking
I
god.
found you, bro.
Give us all your scrap.
I found you, bro. Oh.
It was at this point where I started deliberating whether or not I should join them, because I was planning on having a solo wipe. But of course, things didn't go as planned, and I decided to join them for the wipe. We decided to pick up everything in my base and move it across the map to Yannick and Tyler's base. And this is how it went. Shit. Oh, shit! Yeah, we got ambushed outside of someone's base, and even though Yannick killed one of them, they ended up coming back right outside and killing all of us with all the loot. This left us with essentially nothing except a hollow base next to excavator, so I was bagged in and we started farming back up. We ran through the military base, grabbing a few crates, then went to the gas station to recycle, where we had a quick encounter with a player and killed him for some nice components. I made a quick run over to the excavator to hit some barrels, and then when I came back, there were some more people at the gas station. Plug?
Actually come.
Unfortunately, my audio got desynced from the video here, so everything you hear will be a few seconds before everything that happens.
It's me getting started at. I'm dead.
This is not good.
Where's Sarkit at?
On the roof. And he's quite a decent player. Killed his friend coming back. Where's your body, Yannick?
Behind where those one kids are camping.
There's 2 of them here now. I'm fucked. I'm so dead.
No way, no way. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. One more. Spin, one.
Luckily, my teammates managed to get back here with the Yokas and kill one of the star players from behind. I managed to hold off long enough for my teammates to come back, and we ended up killing the SARP players. A little after this, we saw cargo come out, so we bought a boat and went. We had a few counters on cargo, but we managed to kill them all and take their guns and the crates back home.
First crate was dog shit, but we got an aiming module.
We'll stay there forever.
They just can't respawn.
Another MP5 metal face mask.
Nice. After a quick pit stop at base, we decided to go back to small oil rig to counter as we saw people calling an airdrop. Sadly, the people that were taking oil rig were too scared to fight us and ran off with the scrappy. After making it back to base with some of the boom, we decided to go raid our neighbors who had door camped us earlier. They didn't really have much, but their TC was loaded on resources and scrap, and we got a tier 3, plus we moved them out of our area so we could expand further. Before logging out for the night, we decided to take some of the diesel we got from large oil rig to run at the excavator for stone, which we used to upgrade the base before logging off. In the morning, I decided to grab some resources and attempt to finish the base, but something caught my attention first. A player with a launcher was coming to my base. Right as I was logging on, they were attempting to offline raid us. With a quick peek I got through the window, I could see that they had moved in close next doors. As I attempted to fight off the player with the launcher, they began to roof camp from their base because they were so close by. My casual morning of attempting to build my base quickly became a standoff as I was defending the base as a solo. The players outgeared and outnumbered me with LRs and AKs from their roof. After quickly depoting some of the farm I had on me, I attempted to hold them off longer so that they would know I was online and not attempt to offline. I was beginning to get overwhelmed from the roof, so I needed to head back inside. As you could see on that naked body, for the few minutes that I was inside grabbing cloth to heal, one of the nakeds managed to loot the body with the rockets on it. If I didn't make a play now, I was going to get raided, and I couldn't do anything about it as I was the only player online, and this was at 6:30 in the morning when no one else was awake. After killing the remainder of the geared players, I knew there was no way I could loot with the 2 AK people on the roof, so I decided to just hold my ground and heal up to full health while I waited for them to loot their bodies and leave.
You're not getting away now, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Unfortunately, my audio began to desync here, so I'll be turning it off for the rest of this clip. They now had 3 players on the roof and 4 players on the ground. I was severely outnumbered, and I just had to go inside and hope that they would give up, knowing that I was online. The next few hours were painful, to say the least. I came outside to figure out that they had TC griefed 2 sides of our base, and this was 30 minutes later, so I attempted to get back to building the base before they could continue TC griefing. Little did I know, these people did not leave their roof. It was almost impossible to build, as they were shooting at my twig every single time I would try to build. And it wasn't like this went on for 30 minutes. This went on for 3 hours while I attempted to finish the base so that they couldn't online raid us without a finished base. As more of my team hopped on, we decided to start running monuments like oil rig in order to get enough scrap to help us BP everything we needed for boom and for guns. I'm not going to include the footage because it was just repetitive oil rig running, as we'd lived right next to the oil rig and nobody really wanted to contest us. After we were done farming scrap and had accumulated BPs, we decided to log off after finishing the base. The audio desynced, sorry. From the quick peek I got outside, I noticed something peculiar. None of them were on the ground with rocket launchers. They were raiding from the raid base. So I knew that if I just held down the peaks, I could hold the raid forever. Unfortunately, Yannick's Discord wasn't working, but he was the only teammate that I had online, so we were talking through voice chat. Luckily, the raiders were Japanese, so they couldn't understand us. Here I managed to kill one of the players running rockets over, therefore stopping them from being able to raid from ground. As long as they couldn't bring rockets into our compound and keep raiding in, they wouldn't be able to fully raid from the raid base. The hit of this last rocket, Yannick tells us that they're one rocket away from our TC room. They begin to pummel, and they get our TC. Now our beds are all exposed, and Yannick has to hold off the core while I hold off the roof, keeping them from destroying them. At this point, the players have used over 60 rockets and show no sign of stopping. They just continue to pummel, so we decide that we need to seal rather than hold forever. With Yannick's death here, I frantically attempt to hold the peaks down as he respawns and rekits. Quickly, the realization sets in that we had not farmed this entire time, and all we had got was guns, and nothing to seal the base. As we scrounged the last few resources in our base together to seal the base, we managed to get the last 2 walls placed, and the base was now fully sealed. We now had to deal with the issue of the compound, because we had no compound walls and neither of us had them researched. And luckily enough, one of our AFK teammates had 2 walls to seal the compound. Now let's quickly all make sure we're on the same page here. On the second day of wipe, at 6:30 in the morning, our Japanese neighbors came to our base with a rocket launcher. I luckily managed to fend them off for long enough for my teammates to get on. The next morning they came back and they got very close to completely raiding us. Now you'd expect these guys to be the center of the story, the people we get revenge on in the end, and the people we end up raiding. But of course, things don't go to plan again. And before we log off, one of our members gets this message from one of their members. A very obviously Google translated message from a Japanese person asking us for roof camping agreements or non-aggression pacts. Now while we didn't trust these guys, we knew that if we didn't agree to this, they would come even earlier while all of us were asleep. So we agreed to be friendly with them. Now once again, for the sake of the story not being several hours long and taking several parts, we're going to skip a lot of progression. This next encounter with a group of cheaters sparks the attention of our main rivals from this wipe.
You're a bitch, you know that? Hey, where's
Cry.
your base, pussy? Come on.
M5, pull
Where's
up.
your base?
I told him our cords.
Hey,
Oh, M5.
hey. Yo, don't get off, alright?
Oh.
I mean, because I was getting something, you retard.
You know you can get it in the mini, you know, right?
I continue shit talking because I haven't realized what's happened yet, but take a quick peek at the top of my screen as I come back to the mini this one more time. I'll slow it down so you can see better. Yeah, that's right. You just watched a man fly up a wall. Now I need you to prepare yourself for one of the most comically obvious groups of cheaters you will ever see.
Bigger than we were.
Yo,
We're getting raided.
Market
We're getting
targets.
raided.
Yep.
The raid seems completely normal, up until right about now. You might think those couple headshots weren't incriminating, but it gets worse. As my teammates died through embrasures from 100 meters away, we all scrambled to report the cheaters. At first we thought it was only 2 of them that were cheating, one in the raid base and one on ground. But as you'll see later, it was all of them. Oh, that guy doesn't belong there. Oh, how did he get there? He flew up our inner peaks. Nothing but a Tommy and a heavy plate helmet. Let alone the obvious aimbot, every single one of them had a name spoofer, so we couldn't report them all at the same time because we didn't know who they were. We had to wait until each of us died to each of the cheaters to get a successful report in. After respawning, I see the raiders are 1 rocket away from our main TC room. And just as everything's about to go downhill, this happens. We obviously defended after all of them were sleeping outside of our base, and a few hours later I went to bed in hopes of waking up early tomorrow for another raid defense. But 3 hours later I woke up to Discord notifications. Let me explain this to you how my teammates explained it to me. 5 hours after we all logged off except for Tyler and Yannick, a group of 10 came to raid us. Luckily, Tyler and Yannick's names were not known by the raiders, so they couldn't check battle metrics to see if they were online. Tyler and Yannick were successfully defending until they noticed that the enemies were blatantly cheating. Tyler and Yannick managed to get most of the team online to help defend with resales. Eventually, the raiders ran out of rockets and left. It was a close raid, but Yannick and Tyler managed to hold long enough for our team to get on so we could seal the base back up. The Japanese teammates we allied with earlier informed us where they lived and also told us that they had been harassing them. Now we had plenty of reason to raid them. So we began to farm back up after sealing our base and get ready for the raid. We managed to farm up a box of rockets and our Japanese neighbors offered to bring 2. We were ready to return the favor, but we weren't going to come in the middle of the night. We were coming early morning, right when the server was getting to peak hours. I would like to thank you for watching my first Rust movie. It took me a lot of time and effort to make this kind of movie because I've never done anything like this before. So if you enjoyed, please like the video and leave any feedback you have in the comments below. As a smaller content creator, I really do put the time in to look at the comments and take those into consideration for feedback. If you'd like to see more of this, please let me know in the comments below, because I don't know if this is the kind of content you guys want to see. So again, thank you for everyone who participated in the making of the movie and everyone who watched till the end. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.